The National Archives in London is the official archive and publisher for the UK government, safeguarding more than 11 million historic documents. This video will provide information about our partnership with the National Archives and our project to digitise and publish millions of pages of 19th and 20th century government documents. I'll speak to a scholar about his research, with a focus on how he adopted the Foreign Office Files China, both during and after his PhD. Finally, I'll share a range of tips and tricks for conducting in-depth research and teaching with this online portal, while reviewing a small selection of documents that reflect the nature of the content.
As the United Kingdom Government Archive, among our primary roles is the preservation and sharing of information. That means investing in the protection of the material we hold. It also means making that material available to interested audiences in the most appropriate way. Our long-standing partnership with Adam Matthew has helped ensure we fulfil those aims. The digital resources they have produced have been integral to us moving in step with the rapidly changing landscape of information services. Researchers want to explore multiple resources quickly and comprehensively. Today, visitors to the National Archives and researchers around the world delve into our collections at the click of a button.
Adam Matthew has been working with the National Archives since the early 1990s. Initially we focused on microfilm products, but now we work solely on digital collections. Since 2009 we've been developing the Archives Direct portal, which is a series of standalone products focusing on Britain's political relationship with the rest of the world. Taken together, these comprise millions of pages of previously restricted and confidential information, which now are an essential resource for any student or scholar of political history.
With our digital scanning facility based permanently at the UK National Archives, Adam Matthew Digital is able to offer a range of area studies and theme-based, self-contained collections, all made available through the single Archives Direct portal. The previously confidential documents within the portal include diplomatic correspondence, letters, reports, surveys, material from newspapers, statistical analyses, published pamphlets, ephemera, military papers, profiles of prominent individuals, maps, and many others that represent the British state's point of view from the 1830s through to the early 1980s. The modules can be sectioned into three main areas: the confidential print series, the Foreign Office files, and the more thematic collections. The confidential print series, issued by the British government between around 1820 and 1970, is a fundamental building block for political, social and economic research. The series originated out of a need to preserve the most important papers generated by the Foreign and Colonial Offices. These range from single-page letters or telegrams to comprehensive dispatches, investigative reports and texts of treaties. Currently, Adam Matthew has published entire confidential prints for Africa, Latin America, the Middle East and North America, and these run from the 1830s to the late 1960s, at which time the production of the confidential prints was concluded. The largest part of the Archives Direct platform is its collection of Foreign Office files, and these are organised by region to cover China, Hong Kong and Taiwan 1919 to 1980, India, Pakistan and Afghanistan 1947 to 1980, Japan from 1919 to 1952, Southeast Asia from 1963 to 1980, and the Middle East from 1971 to 1981. The Foreign Office collections represented here offer comprehensive digitisation of all Foreign Office files that were collected and archived, offering researchers an incredibly rich source of English language materials. The quality and depth of the Foreign Office's reporting on politics, industry, trade and cultural affairs is second to none, and combine eyewitness accounts, weekly and monthly summaries, annual reviews, reports and analyses with a synthesis of newspaper articles and conference reports, economic assessments and synopses on important and influential individuals around the world. These records represent the constant exchange of information between London and British diplomatic outposts around the world, and offer insight into the continual dialogue and various issues between Britain and its allies across Europe, America and elsewhere. The third and final section of Archives Direct includes thematic collections covering the Nixon years 1969 to 1974, the Macmillan Cabinet Papers 1957 to 1963, and Apartheid South Africa 1948 to 1980. Materials are drawn from foreign, colonial, Dominion and Commonwealth offices. The vast majority of sources within the Archives Direct portal are printed and have been OCR'd to allow for full-text search. The basic search bar allows you to search across every collection and every document, or you can search across individual collections by making your selection at the right of the page. Note that each individual collection is colour-coded and presents you with a range of options that are unique to that set of materials. Here, you can select Introduction to read detailed collection guides that include a wealth of contextual information, along with links to noteworthy documents. From the self-contained collection pages, you can also access academic essays written by our consultant faculty, make use of an interactive chronology, view map galleries, and make use of the popular searches, which presents you with a hyperlinked list of people, places, and topics. Making a selection from these lists will enter the search term automatically. You can filter your results by date, or search within that list of results by entering a second search in the top right search bar. At the top of each page, you'll see the option to log in or register for My Archive, an area in which to save documents, individual images, searches, and more. Registering takes no longer than a minute, and I thoroughly recommend making use of that feature. The Help section provides detailed information on how best to browse and search the collection, and provides useful tips for making the most of Boolean operators, wildcards, and other advanced search functionality that the portal supports. Given the sheer volume of content here, it's essential for researchers to become familiar with these tools. Although these search tools can be used from the basic search bar on any page, the advanced search area is arguably the best place to begin, after having read the collection guides and other contextual information. You'll be presented with the option to limit your search by selecting your choice from here on the left, but entering a keyword or phrase will search across all full-text content within the documents as well. The Boolean operators and, or, and not can be selected on the right, and you can expand this list to include as many search terms and Boolean operators as you like. By selecting the word stemming option on the advanced search page, you can command the search engine to return results on all derivation of your search words. Thus, a stemming-enabled keyword search for book will return book, books, booked, etc. However, it will not return different words that simply begin with book, for example, bookseller or bookkeeper. For this, you'll need to use the asterisk wildcard, like so. When you've found a document that's of interest and are on its landing page, you'll be presented with a range of options. You can learn more about the document by reading the metadata, scroll through the thumbnails, save the document to My Archive for future reference with one click, search just within the document, download to PDF the entire document or a range of images, and use the citation tool for EndNote, RefWorks or Zotero. When you've selected an image to view, you can drag and zoom by using your mouse and scroll wheel, double-click for zoom, or use the plus and minus icons here on the left. You can toggle to full view by using this button. Select thumbnails for a bird's eye view of the pages all laid out. This is a useful way to navigate through a lengthy document quickly and efficiently. Another option is to use this drop-down menu to select a page or image number. Finally, from here, you can add an individual image to your lightbox within My Archive, or download that individual image to PDF. These are just a few simple tips to get you started, but further details can be found in the Help section of all Adam Matthew Digital collections. We spoke with Dr. Li Duan about his experience using the Foreign Office Files China, both during his PhD research at Syracuse and in his current position at the School of Historical, Philosophical and Religious Studies at Arizona State University.
My PhD dissertation focuses on the private gun ownership in China, and that research project talks about three questions. One is why Chinese people wanted to have the privately owned gun, civilian gun ownership. And the second question is the gun circulation, because I focus on the foreign gun in China, and that makes the gun trade in a global perspective. And the third question is the gun regulation or gun control in China from the late 19th century to the early 20th century. So that is my PhD, my dissertation topic. And then after my PhD, I went to Michigan for a postgraduate for 2 years, and I worked on the manuscript. I just changed my dissertation to a book. I'm planning to submit this summer, and now I'm starting a new project based on my PhD dissertation, which is about the gun ownership, the gun control in the early 1950s in China, after 1949, when the People's Republic of China was established, and the new government started to collect or to confiscate the guns from the 1949 to the mid 1950s. My second project focuses on Tibet, and the Tibet has many connections with Britain before 1949, and I know that many guns came from India, from British India. So that is what I'm looking at: how the guns got circulated from the early 20th century in Tibet. I think that database is also helpful too. That is a project right now I'm looking at. Now I'm teaching at Arizona State. I'm teaching more upper level courses, and then I ask my students to write a research paper based on primary sources. And also because I'm teaching Asian history in general, and I'm teaching East Asia, and also I taught one course on South Asia this summer, and I asked my students to use databases that we have and to look to search for primary sources. And I told my students the Foreign Office Files for China, and also we have databases on Foreign Office Files for India. I use that. I asked my students to search for primary documents from the databases that we have. That's a great question. Actually, I ask my students to give me topics that both interesting and important. Well, I know that there are too many interesting topics. However, many topics cannot be done without sources in original language. And so, but because I'm now teaching graduate students, I'm teaching undergraduate courses. Most students have very limited skills in foreign language. As a result, I told them, they have to rely on English because they can't understand or can't read Chinese, Japanese, or Hindus. However, I think that the foreign documents, the documents in English, are still very comprehensive and very informative, and that could help students limit their focus as well. And I think students enjoy this process by looking at the original documents in English, because they have no idea that during the 19th century or early 20th century, there are too many connections between Asia and Western countries. For example, they can focus on the missionaries' work, They can focus on for example, the British diplomats in China, or merchants in China, or the trade network. I think there's a lot of information that I think at least for undergraduate level courses, these sources are enough, or far more enough, right? But it's a great practice. Students could search primary sources, use them to build their argument and narrative.